REEFLEX have released version 3 of their Pro Camera app, and it does bring some significant upgrades, especially for macro photographers. So I'm going to go quickly over the list of features that have been added to the app. The big one for macro photographers and myself is focus bracketing. That has been added. That is a great feature. We have exposure bracketing. We've got burst mode, so tap and hold for burst mode. Burst on tap removes tap and hold delays, stuff like that. Camera selection, you can now select both optical and digital crop cameras. And then we've got performance improvements, zero shutter lag. That is something I've moaned about in the past, about the lag when you press the shutter. It takes half a second for it to take the picture. That's been eliminated now, which is brilliant. Got overall improved UI features, enhanced gallery features. What I want to do now is I want to take you through the app now, because this version 3 is a significant improvement over the old app. And you've seen me use the app before in the past. And let's have a look at this new app, and I'll take you through it and show you the features. And I have a rather half-dead flare down here. Okay, that's what we're going to use just for a demo. So I'm currently using the 240mm lens with the 200mm macro add-on, and it's attached to the telephoto lens. So the first thing I would need to do to show you some demonstrations here is to change the camera, and we can do that by down this section here, and we can go to 4x, and that gives us our telephoto camera. So at the side or the top, depending on the orientation you're looking at, you've got a little white slider. We can bring that down and we can go into the options. So what you want to do is you want to look at camera settings. Let's take a look at there. We have enable location. That's a brilliant little feature. Embed thumbnail. So if you're going to use RAW format, you can embed a thumbnail. Burst on tap and focus lock. You can enable those if you want to. I personally don't use those. The burst on tap, when you enable that, will give you a number of shots once you click on the shutter button. Here I've set it to 10 shots. So once I press the shutter button to take a picture, it will take 10 shots. And the focus lock is basically to lock the focus so it doesn't alter on each shot. And then we have our focus peak, and I've got mine set to red. So let's come out of that now. And obviously you've got links to their other apps in there as well, and as well as the community, other lenses. We've got an app tutorial, slow shutter tutorial. I'll get onto that in a minute. I love it. Well, let's come back to the camera app. So you can use the app in either horizontal or vertical. You can see some of the icons change, but not everything changes when you go into horizontal. So I'm going to use it in the vertical orientation, which is similar to what you would be using if you was out in the field with this. Okay, then at the bottom we have our main settings, which is our ISO, shutter speed, exposure compensation, your focusing, and your white balance. Those are brilliant. Okay, now the reason I'm not going to touch them yet is I want to show you something that's unique to the iPhone, which is very irritating, and that's your format. We go to the bottom right, we've got Pro RAW format. We can select our formats: HEIF, JPEG, Pro RAW or RAW. And then we can select our megapixels. Now the megapixels depends on which one you select. So if we go JPEG, we can select 12 or 48. Go RAW, we can only select 12, zero processing. Does that mean the iPhone's upscaling maybe? I don't know. HEIF or Pro RAW flexible. So I would normally use Pro RAW flexible with 48 megapixels. But what I want you to do is keep an eye on the bottom right corner. If I come in here and start adjusting our ISO, it automatically goes back down to 12 megapixels. So if you do decide to do that, bear in mind that you will be losing the 48 megapixel file and you'll be down to a 12. Now to reset that, one of the easiest ways to do is to come into our format and resolution, and down the bottom you've got manual exposure. If we turn that off, it'll take us back to Pro RAW with 48 megapixels. We're going to come back up to the top, bring this little slider down. In here we have our flash, off, on, automatic or torch. So if we put it to a torch, we can turn that torch on when we want to take a picture. I don't use that at all because the lens kind of blocks it, but you can use that if you're not using a lens. And again, you don't need a reflex lens on here to use the app. We have our timer, 3 second, 10, 20 or 0. That's brilliant. We have grid lines, so we can put our grid lines on, rule of thirds, so on and so forth. I tend to leave that off. We also have the guides, and if you look in the center you can see some white guides. If I move this about, let me take it off here so you can see that a little bit better. You can tell whether your orientation is correct. You can see there when it's correct it highlights green, same as when we go horizontal. You can see there, not something I use in my work, but it's there if you need it. So to the bottom left we have highlight and shadow warnings. We can turn that on. Okay, and if I just cover this up, you're going to see there's your shadow warning. That's saying it's basically pitch black. And then if I can orientate my hand in such a way, tell you what, let's bring the shutter speed down. You can see you got highlight warnings. So let's come back and reset that back to Pro Raw. On the right hand side we have our histogram. You can see there we're a little bit to the dark side, but it doesn't matter, we're just doing the demonstration. And we can also change that to a coloured histogram if you want to by clicking on it, and that shows the individual RGB values of your scene. Right down the bottom we have a left hand icon, looks like a little iris. That is our motion blur. This I absolutely love. So we can simulate a 2-second exposure in the camera itself. So if you look at this, right, you're watching, see there's no blur. If I take a picture now, you can see how it blurs it. It's like built-in ND filters, and I used this to create this image here of an alien. And I use my smoke machine here. I'm going to set my exposure, let's go 5 seconds, okay? And you notice your exposure doesn't change. It's just, you know, normally if you're doing an ND filter, you'd have to adjust your exposure because you put in a shutter speed that's lower. Whereas with this, you don't. Take a picture. Can you see? That there, the motion blur, honestly, I love it. So it goes from half a second all the way up to bulb, which is brilliant. I love that. One thing to note about the motion blur is when you go into the motion blur, you will automatically go down to a heath with a 12 megapixel. There's no way around it, it's just the way it is. It's long exposure is limited to 12 megapixels, and long exposure requires a standard compatible format. So there's no way around it. I still had a lot of fun playing with that slow motion feature. I'm going to skip this next one. We go on to EV, which is exposure bracketing. So if you're doing a HDR type of image, you can use that for exposure bracketing, and then we can flip the camera around. Hello. To have the front ones. Right, now then, 2 more things I want to show you before we get on to the focused bracketing. Let me just go back to 48 megapixel. Down the bottom here we have an eye icon. This is your focus peaking. Okay, so I'm just clicking to change the focus. And you can see on the edges of the petals you got some red. That is our focus peaking, and again we can change the color of that. If we come into our settings, let's go with a blue. You can come back out. Okay, and you can see now the highlights are now blue, and you can see that in the center of the flare. So focus peaking, for anyone out there who doesn't know it, it's an overlay that highlights the pixels that are sharp, essentially where your sharpest focus point is. It is highlighted with the selected color that you choose. Now another brilliant feature that I like is the zoom feature. So you can see here, this is a zoom feature, so we're digitally zooming in, but it's great to nail focus. So you can see there that that's not in focus. If I bring it forward, you can see how it comes into focus. See there? So that would be in focus right there. If we come to MF, that's our focus. So that's nearest, and then that's far away. So we can adjust our focusing. Okay, we can click on these icons here to automatically go to the end of each one. So that's close focusing, and that one is as far away as possible. That's going to come into play in a minute. We have our white balance. Now I'm under 5500 Kelvin, so we're going to set that there. And you notice if we mess with the focusing or the white balance, it doesn't adjust our Pro Raw. We're still at 48 megapixels. Your ISO or your shutter, that it adjusts that. I'm not too sure why. So let's go into the focus bracketing, and this I absolutely love it. So in here it goes from 0, which is your closest focusing, to 1. Now this is the same chart that is on your manual focus just here. Okay, which is great. If you've got a subject that's not running around and it's nice and still, you can sit down and you can work out exactly where you want your focusing to start. So let's say we wanted to start from there, which is around 15, 16, and then we want it to end here, which is around 75. We can dial that in just here. So let's go from 14 to about 75. That's your focusing set, that's your focusing range, what the actual bracketing is going to move down. Next we need to set how many images, and you can go from 3 all the way up to 100, and you do it just by sliding your finger on the number. So for this demonstration I'm going to bring it back down, we don't need that many, and we're going to come to, let's keep it simple, and we're just going to do 15. Once that's all set, all we have to do now is press start. It's going to start capturing a focus bracket, and you can see them building up down the bottom there. It tells you what number you're on, 8 or 15, and it'll keep going until we get to 15. And you can see the focusing adjusting as well. And the good thing about this as well is once it's finished, you can press it again and it'll restart from the same focusing. So once it's finished, it comes back to the original focusing. If we want to cancel it, we can just press our shutter and cancel it, and then we can come out of it. Absolutely brilliant. Now check this image out here of my jumping spider. This is a 100 image focus stack taken on the iPhone using the REEFLEX 240mm with the macro add-ons and their Pro camera app. Absolutely brilliant. Here are some images that have been taken on the REEFLEX Pro Camera app version 3. All of these images have been edited using my macro presets. There's a link in the description for my presets, or you can click on the QR code that's on the screen now. Here's an interesting shot. You can see me setting up a flower shot that's going to be a focus stack. This is a stack of 20 images out in the wild using the REEFLEX Pro Camera app. Very difficult shot to get because of the breeze, but I did manage to get this shot here. Again, no complaints about the focus bracketing feature in the app. So that is the new Pro Camera app from REEFLEX. Brilliant update. Some really great features that have been added into this app, and the app is currently only available for iPhones. So let me know what you thought about this. Is it a great improvement for you? I think it's fantastic for me. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video, and I will see you on the next one.